his horror.
They would tell you to lie on the cot face down and grab the rail at the head of it.
And his horror.
He beat me so bad I couldn't go back out to work because I was bleeding.
Tonight, these men are somehow able to share what they went through inside this little White House.
Chilling stories from men who say they were tortured as children.
The Florida Industrial School for Boys triggers haunting memories they just can't shake. And Donald Forbes has their heart-wrenching story. A word of warning, it is a rough and tragic one, but it needs to be told.
They whip you so bad that your butt splits open.
Physically, they bust the skin and usually drive your underwear right into your body. And it emotionally is just no describing the torment and the terror. Don't forget, these are 10, 11, 12-year-old kids.
The tales of horror carried out at the former Florida Industrial School for Boys are all frighteningly similar. Tales of brutal beatings, of abuse, even death, as evident by the dozens of crosses sprouting above a field of unmarked graves, all told by scarred young boys who have now turned into hardened old men.
Mr. Tidwell, he beat me so bad I couldn't go back out to work because I was bleeding. They took me to the infirmary and they put like Vaseline all over my butt to keep the blood from gushing out.
62-year-old George Fudge lives in Daytona Beach. 50 years after his incarceration at the state reformatory school, the memories are as fresh as yesterday.
I try to forget it, but you never can. You can, even have dreams of it. But I don't know. It kind of messes you up.
In 1958, Fudge was just 12 years old, sent to the reformatory for petty theft. He, like others, tell of the dirty concrete building they used to call the ice cream factory, but now is called the White House, a place where the so-called discipline was carried out. Discipline that came at the end of a long leather whip, similar to the old-fashioned barber strap.
They would tell you to lie on the cot face down and grab the rail at the head of it. There was a vomit and blood-covered pillow there that you had to, they encouraged you to bite the end of it, and that was to keep you from biting your tongue off or your lips.
Jim Blunt was sent to the reformatory for skipping school. He, too, was just 12 years old and received several beatings at the White House. He, like many others, can still hear the whirl of the massive fan inside the room used to mask the shotgun-like sounds of the leather popping against raw flesh. The occasional screams from the victims that escaped, even though they were told any cries would only result in more full-force lashes.
When they finish beating you, you have to stand up and look him right in the eye, because he wants to make sure that you're not crying. As you're standing there, you can feel the blood going down the back of your calves and filling up your shoes.
Besides the beatings, there was also a kind of organized fight club. During Blunt's time in the late 40s and early 50s, it was a bare-knuckle grudge fight where boys were forced to fight against each other whether they wanted to or not.
And the inmates would make a big circle around you so that neither one of you can run away. And then you bare-knuckle it out till one of you either cannot get up or gives up. And it's a bloody mess.
He even recalls cruel experiments, like when he was pulled from his bed in the middle of the night and had his tonsils removed, even though there was nothing wrong with them.
And they said, well, we need the experience. And we have a new inmate assistant here that wants to see how it's done, so we're just going to do it on you. So they took me in some dingy, dusty room and threw me up on the table and went at it.
Hundreds of teenage boys were sent to the segregated camp annually. Their crimes ranged from theft to truancy. And for many, their time in Marianna changed their lives and their outlooks forever.
Hey, they say they straighten you out.
Did they straighten you out?
No. After that, I got out, and then I went to prison. And got married at 15 to an older woman. She was like 25 years older than me.
For the last 60 years, I've had night terrors, I've had panic attacks, I've had psychological counseling about it. And it was so horrific that the psychologist thought I was kidding.
I know I had a brother to go there 2 times. He's dead now, but he went right on to crime and murder after that. And then he committed suicide.
You think it's a direct result of him being in Marianna?
Oh yeah, because he went there as a young child too.
I was very violent. And I become an alcoholic, bad alcoholic.
As for those haunting graves, both men remember seeing other kids just disappear and have no doubt some lost their lives to the cruelty. Cruelty that will be embedded in their memories like the permanent scars across their bodies.
It's hard. And, you know, it's still hard. You think of them things today. What would it have been like if you hadn't have been there? You don't never know.
You're actually brainwashed. You're brainwashed to believe that you are no damn good. You're a piece of trash. That's all you'll ever be, is trash.
Donald, just unbelievable to see that these crimes took place and that they happened to children.
So young, 10, 11, 12 years old. It didn't matter to the people at that camp. Those kids were going to get a whooping, a beating, in other words.
Just heartbreaking. And for things like skipping school. And it makes you wonder how long these children had to stay there.
Well, evidently it went on for a long time. From what we understand, hundreds of boys went through Marianna every year for small and large crimes alike. And they would stay an average of 9 to 12 months, and some were there for as long as possibly 2 years.
So how about the justice for these men? Is there any?
Well, they are seeking justice. The whole sordid ordeal came to light after one of the men, Roger Kaiser, who was a child there, published a book called The White House Boys, An American Tragedy. Soon after that, Governor Charlie Crist ordered an investigation into the graves and the abuse at the school, but that could take probably a couple of years. Until then, the boys have also filed, or men now have filed, a lawsuit against the state of Florida. So they're looking for justice in the court system as well.
And those nightmares and the panic attacks that those victims endure will likely continue long after this investigation is over.
They've been going on for 50 years now, so it probably will never end for these kids.
Living with it for a lifetime. All right, just unbelievable.